Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. It is the Essence League, part of the Atlas of Worlds. And we have arrived in Act 4. Specifically, the Dried Lake. Our totems hit hard. And the monsters melt quick. Time to see how fast we can blaze through here. Because the labyrinth is oh so close now. Oh so close. And of course, once we finish the labyrinth, we truly are Tukohama's Totemancer. So we'll see how luckily we are. But I think that in a couple of episodes we should be able to breeze through Act 4. And then I'm really curious to see how the taunting and the damage reflection, what the impact of that is gonna be. If it will make us even more aggressive, or if it turns out to be mostly forgettable. Of course, Righteous Fire will become fire immune, so it's gonna burn forever, or at least until its timer runs out, rather than consuming all of its own health in the process. So that means we get some extra options for playing with it. Because right now we use less duration because it will burn itself out way quicker anyway. If we don't use it, because then no, it's just gonna sit there with a lot of time that it doesn't need. Once it's fire immune, then of course we don't need to do that anymore. That gives us some options. But you know, the details of that we will get into later once it becomes relevant. Hello there, Nightwing. How are you doing today? Yeah, I thought so. Not so good. Ooh, there's a ghost over there. There's a blue pack. Let's see if we can find a yellow or something. Or maybe if we can drive him into Vol, that could be hilarious. Yes, there's a yellow. Ooh, we are lucky. Hey. Blasphemous touch. Yeah, we got you. You are not gonna go anywhere. And we are. So, lots of loot dropping. Speaking of loot, in between episodes I did a little bit of daily mission running, and we now have the Mr. that always says Totem warrior. And he is now at level 4. Haku the armor crafter. He can finally upgrade our armor to the 2nd tier armor boost. And as a result we now have this nice shield. 782 points of armor. Still looking for a body armor to match it. Because the body armor we have is about half that. Even though it already has a 60-something% bonus built in. Let's see, double essence, greed and sorrow. That means more life. I approve. So we get a lot of stuff, and we get vortices. And we get essences. But yeah, I can say I'm very happy that we finally have Haku leveled up to 4. Because crafting your armors is kind of an essential part of gearing up. Which, nope, normal, cruel, you don't really need it, because you really can get away with just the rares, especially in Essence League. No, self-crafted rares are good. But oh, come merciless. Our resists are going to be diminished by a total of 60%. So that's 40% more than what we currently do. So that means...
Your empire is dead, Vol. Join it.
That means we will be at negative 40 chaos resist, and all the other resists are going to be slightly depressed as well. Elemental resists are easy to fix. Chaos requires some work. So we'll just put stuff in our box as usual. And then we move onwards. This being cruel, we don't really care all that strongly about what the rewards are, except of course for Tasuni's reward of a skill point, because skill points are always useful. But No, the rare items and skill gems, things like that, they don't really matter anymore.
I walk in your kingdom, and I am coming for you.
I am coming for you. There is spike rivets. Where's spike rivets? There's spike rivets. Yes. Spike rivet is no more. Ooh, credit corp. That's always nice. That's a bunch. Maybe I should open up with the Shockwave Totem, since that does have a little bit of appeal to them. But I guess most of these miners are really strongly attracted to just hacking stones out of the wall. And damaging totems be damned. And that works. Right. Let's check upstairs first, or to the upside. Oh, so this is a dead end. Chaos Golem, or Chaos Sentinel. It's a slightly larger version of a regular Chaos Golem that you can summon yourself. Ooh, that's a yellow. Oh, see, we still need to recast our totems from time to time. So the Tukohama Herald of War upgrade is mostly going to be a quality of life improvement here, rather than something that's truly at its core build defining. It's build enhancing, which is a slight change of I guess perspective from how I originally had it. Since originally I thought I really needed it in order to make the Righteous Fire Totem viable, but turns out it's actually pretty viable if you spec a little bit into resistances and invest a bit in the lesser duration. Hello there, Treasure Hunter. Vaults of Atziri, 1 of 7. That's interesting. Vaults of Atziri is a fun map to run. Completely filled with treasure, and there are no monsters. Not even a boss. All there is loot. Loot, 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 loot. Now I think if you are a dedicated magic finder, you can get a lot more out of that build than just any random build. And as such, the market prices have been decent. I think I've seen them listed for multiple exalts.
Kitava's belly rumbles.
Could be interesting to sell them.
He is hungry for me.
Guarded by extreme monsters. But of course, I have a habit of just running all the maps rather than selling them, because it's more entertaining to play them through and just record it, even if I fail miserably, rather than just selling it for currency. Because, well, it's rather boring to watch an entire episode at just an exalt or two in the stash. I wouldn't really want to watch that. And since I do try to make videos that I personally would like to watch, there's not going to be any videos of just watching a currency stash tab. Instead, we're gonna do the fun stuff. Though for this character we actually still have to get 2 maps, but well, we're getting there. And we're now 2 weeks into the league and we have nearly finished Cruel difficulty. So it's probably another week and then we will have finished Merciless, and then we have another 2 whole months to run maps. I think we are set up pretty darn well. Of course, with the Toxic Viking we're already looking at the new maps on the left side of the tree. This character we're going to look on the right side of the tree, so there's going to be a nice bit of varied content there. So I think this is going to be a very interesting league season. That's you. Yes. You. So for this level, level 2, we are of course looking for the Shred, who is hidden somewhere here. Got up a hammer mesh. Or it's gonna be here. That's a large one. Big zombie, golem, something. Well, didn't last very long. So the question of course is always, where the heck are they hiding? So it's pretty easy to just overlook them if they're tucked away in a quiet little corner somewhere. Which is why I'm wandering around a little bit. As far as I know, there is no real strict pattern to this level. So you always end up wandering randomly until you find it. Which might not be the most ideal way to navigate, but unfortunately it's the only way how I know how to navigate here. Some variation. What is this? A Weeping Essence of Sorrow. So just got all the totems set up. I'm taking some damage, but mitigating quite some as well. Boss is still around. Just drank a potion there just to be sure, and I think I shouldn't have used the Summon Skeletons level. Yeah, now it's a manual cast. Yeah, have to lower that one by a level. That's the downside of having stuff on cast when damage taken and maybe not entirely paying attention to what you are raising in terms of skill. Hello there, Void Scream. We got you. Searing Bond. Of course, then you get multiple mobs dropping down. And they killed the golem. Not a good thing, but we'll deal with it. Whoosh. Okay. Got a foreboding sense that we might be heading towards the exit here. Oh, but this tunnel. So you are possessed, that's good. It's actually a ghost that did his job. And we got a silver coin, sweetness. And well, let's do this, we'll do that. A tunic, right? That's 3 high, like that. Excellent. Okay. That's a big cave. You are, well, same monster type as Hammer Mash, but you're not actually Hammer Mash. And yes, you are burning up in the white nicely. Good, good. So, if I were a trapped ghost, where would I hide? Okay, Crystal Veins, that's the annoying bit. Well, let's empty our pockets first and then we'll backtrack. And of course we can hand in the prophecy to Navali. And get some prophetic fun out of that. Yeah, you, in your place. So that's 1 coin. That's another coin, we got 2 coins. And I still have to go back to do that quest.
Warmongers seeks to claim land that is not there.
Hidden Vile Pathways.
Ancient foes open new paths to the land they left barren.
So we're gonna encounter some random warbands and we're gonna encounter some other stuff. We shall see. Hello, Crowd of Age. Okay, maybe you should stop running around. Yes, thank you. Alright. Then the question is, where the heck do we have to go? How far do we track back? Hopefully it's just something as simple as going to a small side area. Worst case we have to backtrack all the way to the start. As I mentioned, this is not one of my favorite areas because it's just No, this inherently it has a very strong tendency to focus you, or to force you to backtrack, and I really don't like backtracking. Especially, you know, once your Quicksilver Flask runs out and you're just jogging about, not really going quickly. So maybe there. So that's on the other side of this chasm. That helps definitely, because there's a room here from the looks of it. Oh, it's actually a room with some connected bits. There's a Pitch Reflector, a Lava Reflector, Elemental Reflector, and indeed there's the Shreds, and then there's Hammerstorm. It's not, I think I called them Hammer Mash, but it's Hammerstorm.
Karui and Maraketh once fought together. I honor that friendship.
Okay, so we saved the ghost. Now it's time to move on. Well, I suppose now if this was all really straightforward, then of course you would just blitz through the mines. And this way I guess they force you to stay here, but it would be better if the level design was a bit more interesting, maybe with some forced choke points where you would find her and make the hammer, not Hammer Mash, the other Hammer Storm guy fight maybe a bit more interesting. Because it always feels a little bit weird how they deal with the Shred's fight. So it's listed as a side quest, it's an optional side quest, but no, the Shred was the leader of their village or clan, or however their social structure works. It's been too long since I really went into the lore. But oh, the Shred was their leader and was sealed up in the mines in order to keep evil out, but potentially even to keep Malachi out, or to keep him locked in. So it's a pretty noble sacrifice that was made. And no, that could have been no part of the story. You're gonna go through here anyway. You might as well just put it smack down in the middle. And then just work it up a little bit. Could even use some of the area mechanics, cause
You will feast no longer, Kitava. The ancestors demand it.
Because now if you look at just how the mechanics work in this area, you got these diggers, they try to dig through the walls to get the Chaos Golems out. So the Chaos Golems, they are already contained within the walls, and all these guys do is dig them out. Then you got Hammerstorm, who's throwing hammers around like he's a juggler or something. So what if though the first stage of the fight was just you fight Hammerstorm, and then once you get his life to like a third down or something like that, then you know he does like this big explosion of hammers, and when they hit the walls, Chaos Golems come out. So you know you get a number of yellow Chaos Golems that just pour out of the walls, and then you have to defeat them. And maybe gets. Maybe one of them has, or maybe all of them have an other nearby allies cannot die aura. So you will be forced to deal with them. So then after you deal with them, you can actually fight the boss again, because he's no longer under the effect of the aura. You could maybe have something with that, and you use the area mechanics combined with the boss fight to actually deal with the boss fight. Let's see, players have 20% less recovery of life, mana and energy shield. Well, we no longer have mana, nor do we care about energy shield, but life is annoying. And the boss is a bit stronger and faster.
Ancient foes open new.
So that's gonna be interesting. Hello, buddy. How are you doing today? Superior fire penetration support. 5%. So if we were using Flame Totem, then Fire Pen might have been useful for it. Because it's no pure fire and it always hits the target, so it's a pretty decent way to scale your damage up, especially against things that have a pretty decent fire resistance to begin with. Unfortunately, both our Righteous Fire and our Searing Bond are damage over time effects, which inherently they don't hit, and as a result, of course, if there's no hit, the hit cannot penetrate. Penetrate is inherently tied to hitting. So we have our Shockwave Totem, but that's only physical damage that we... well, it's not convert, but no part of the physical damage is added as fire and then scaled through the roof. But it feels wasteful to actually to actually put a fire pad on that. Ooh, Samite helmets. This is clearly as good as our current helmet. I think it's worth taking along and then crafting up a little bit. It's a bit of an interesting layout. It feels like a very open area. Most of the time these are narrow tunnels, so it's an interesting twist on the whole concept of corrupted areas. It does feel like a variation. Let's see. Ooh. Hello, Calcifer. Oh, you hurt. I don't like you. We got you. Ooh, you were on the hit list, and we found a coral wing. Let's have a look what it does. That is Blood Boil. Extra life adds fire damage to your attacks. More maximum life, cold resistance, reduced effect of chill on you, and increased in ignite duration on you. Interesting, so you get a ton of life, you get a ton of fire damage on your attacks. But, yeah, interesting. Sacrifice at dawn. Okay. So the prophecy was that the boss would drop a unique. So that's the Hidden Val Pathways. It's an interesting prophecy. Even if it's just for the fact that it gives you a unique. Because it's so interesting to get uniques. No, not all of them are strong or not all of them are good. But a lot of them do something interesting. And as someone who likes to tinker with builds, to come up with crazy ideas, I really like how the Path of Exile uniques generally are more... Oh, they are items that you build around. They're not just numerically stronger. They have a twist to them. They have trade-offs to them. They do things that you otherwise can't do. They break the rules in some way, and that I really like. They're a bit like rare items in Magic, or rare cards in Magic the Gathering. It's more complexity to them, but that also makes them more interesting. Just having a look at all the stuff that needs to be upgraded. Actually, it's all useful to upgrade. And a shrine. Freezing shrine. Let's jump in, grab it. I don't think it does anything because, well, we can't do damage. Yeah. That's what I thought. We actually don't do any damage with it. It was the Searing Bond that we had on us that actually did the damage before. Right. And everything says whoosh. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Okay, here we go. So we have one more unique here that we, of course, I hope to encounter. That is the Burning Man. He uses Righteous Fire as well. He's a colleague of sorts. Though, of course, I don't set myself on fire. I mean, only a madman would do that. No, I got totems for that. That works pretty well. Well, madman or conman, I suppose. But no sane person would set themselves on fire. That's just silly. Right. Yeah, we can do a little bit of shifting. get some more items on and just push forward a little bit. Ooh, that's a nice full room. 2 Shockwave Totems, go. Okay, we found the waypoint. So that's good. That means we can tag this, we can have a short chat with Lady Diala. Then, yeah, we're just gonna look for the Burning Man. Come on, we can't not encounter him. It's tradition, we need to kill him. I have to say, in general, I think I have more luck finding the Burning Man just as a random encounter while I'm looking for the waypoint here. And it's way more reliable than finding the threats in level 2. The threat is harder to consistently find. Okay, so we have a skill point to assign. We're going up in the world. Going towards the Templar starting area to grab some interesting stuff, just to boost our life regen, mostly. Okay, just do a very quick emptying of our pockets, and then we push on to the Burning Man, and then we call it an episode there. Oh, this is for ourselves, we will keep that. Also, I happened to find this one earlier. We can now start finding +2 to skill to fire gem scepters. This one, obviously, besides the +2, has rubbish modifiers, but the fact that we are starting to find them, that means things are getting good, things are getting better. Well, while we are here, might as well have a short chat with Tasuni, get ourselves a skill point. As I said, he's the only one worth talking to, because, well, skill points. And Sanctity. So plan is to go up here, grab the points there, grab some stuff here, grab all of these, grab Elementalist because it's more regen, more damage, chance to ignite, all the good stuff in life. And after that, we're gonna head towards the Cyan Life Wheel. Alternatively, at this point, if you are more concerned about staying alive, especially if you're doing hardcore, for example, and you might take the Cyan Life Wheel first, and then go for the Templar starting area. In this case, because we're playing on standard, I think we can get away with it. I feel we are tanky enough. We're not superbly tanky, but we are tanky enough. We got nearly 2700 life, 6500 armor. We have actually pretty decent block chance, 23%. And our resists are decent. We have some life regen, and we have mostly we have our totems doing all the tanking, because they are the ones doing the damage. And as such, no, at the beginning of the engagement we might do some damage, but after that the attention is pretty much off of us and onto the mobs. Why are you going for me now? I was trying to make a point, you silly golem. Now you're kind of ruining it. Golems. Just no sense of context. I guess that's what you get for having a rock as a brain, right? So this is an ancestral buddy of mine. And the funny thing is that ancestral bonds, they link even if they are hostile. Which I thought was a neat thing. No, that it shows that the ancestral bond totems, they have this connection with each other that just transcends the relationship between all the entities that actually summon them. Okay, and there we are, Burning Man. Hello. So the interesting bit is, of course, I'm standing inside of the Burning Man's aura, and it's not actually burning all that hard. Death by burn, and that was an explosion. I always walk away from it, because supposedly it hurts a lot, and I really don't want to experience just how hard it hurts. Now all the built-in hardcore habits and all that. And that was the goal. Well, actually we concluded by finding elemental hit. It's also one of those skills I've never actually used. But, well, that said, we have reached the destination. We have gotten the waypoint. So, next episode we're gonna commit regicide yet again. King Kam, King Daresso, they both must die. And after that, it's onwards to Malachi and Zaro. But for now, I'm simply going to thank you very much for watching. And I will see you again next time. Bye bye.